Hi, I'm Paul Noble. Just doing some chores out at the Thames River Anglers Association hatchery. We've got brown trout in here right now. You probably saw from that intro how fearlessly I fish my flies. That is how I fish them. I lose a few, but that's why I like to tie guide flies. I don't like to spend a lot of time tying them. I don't like to spend a lot of money on them, so that I'm not afraid to cast them into places like that. That fly that was featured in the intro is the next guide fly that we're going to tie. It's Gurgler, but it's not the same as the legendary Jack Gartside's Gurgler, which is a saltwater pattern to begin with. I stripped it right down. I just kept removing pieces from it. Still kept catching fish, got it all the way down to two materials. The foam that goes over the top, that keeps it on top of the water, and also the bunny tail. That just gives it a little bit of movement to entice the fish. And the reason I left that on is because you can do a bunch of things with this fly. You can dead drift it, and that little bunny tail just moves around. If you tie them small enough, they can imitate any number of mayflies. And you tie them a little bit bigger, it's a grasshopper. If you tie them long and slender and skitter them along, or not really skitter them, but pull them along the top of the water, it's a panic bait fish. It drives the smallmouth crazy. You can fish them on a full sinking line. So it actually pulls the fly down under, and when you pull it, it dives down, then it floats back up. Pull it, dives down, comes back up. Kind of like the stillwater booby fly that a lot of stillwater guys fish. Works great on a river too, very enticing. It's kind of the opposite of a jig. Jig goes down, you pull it up. With this one, you pull it down, and it floats back up. Almost naturally, kind of goes up like that with that rabbit tail going in behind it. Two materials, that's it. So let's go and tie one. It's going to take absolutely no time whatsoever. I can tie up a dozen of these in an hour. No problem. Watching a hockey game while I'm doing it. So let's go do that.
The river gurglers that I tie are usually in sizes 4 down to 8, although I've tied them on 2s and up to 3/0 streamer iron for predator fish like pike and muskie, as well as down to size 16 for mayfly, tiny terrestrials, and pinhead minnows. All said, the hook I usually use is a dry fly hook, in this case a Mustad 94831. For this pattern, the thread I use is a Danville 3/0, in this case yellow, to match the foam color. I'm not using 3/0 for strength. I just find the added thickness doesn't cut through the foam. With the Danville, you can also flatten the thread, which also lessens its tendency to cut. Cut a small amount of rabbit fur from a full pelt for the tail. You can also use the fur from rabbit strips. Cut a very small amount. After pulling out the underfur, it should almost be translucent. Tie it in so you have a tail about a hook shank in length. The craft foam I'm using for this size of hook is about 1/8 inch thick. Cut off a strip a little more than 2 hook shanks in length. The width is again dependent on the size of the hook, but in this case it's about 1/4 of an inch. Cut a small taper at one end of your foam strip. Lay the foam on top of the shank with the tapered end toward the hook eye. Pinch it down around the shank while making a couple of thread wraps in place. Then lift the front of the foam strip back so that you can advance the thread wrap up the shank a few turns. Reposition the foam with a pinch and make another couple of thread wraps in place. Repeat this procedure until you reach the tip of the foam. This creates a segmentation that also increases the flotation of your fly. Once the tip of the foam is tied down, grab the opposite end of the foam strip and fold it forward on top. Tie this down by wrapping it in place and then building a small thread dam underneath it. We're done the tying part, so whip finish and cut. Pull the overhanging foam forward gently to cut off the excess. Don't stretch it. When cutting the foam, I put the flat of the scissors blade against the hook eye as a guide. Your River Gurgler is complete. Only 11 more to go. This color combination works best for my home waters, which is the Thames River around London, Ontario. Have fun with this, matching colors and sizes to imitate hoppers, crickets, ants, beetles, mayflies, caddisflies, and pretty much anything that fish eat. Before you go and tie a bunch of these, please like this video and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the next episode of the Guide Fly series. Thanks so much for watching.